I've just been having a laugh with myself. I was thinking, right, I was looking on the internet because I was thinking, right, I need some inspiration for my YouTube videos. I do a lot more stuff in spring and summer. In winter, I'm pretty much just slobbing and lazy and just chilling out. And so I think, well, I haven't really got anything to talk about, but I actually have. I've got loads to talk about, but I never do it. I just procrastinate all winter. I think I've got that SAD thing, or in my case, it's just laziness. But I was thinking, this is so funny. Could I be an influencer? Because it said some of the top YouTubers are influencers. So they've obviously got a following, haven't they? And I thought it was quite funny because I've spent most of my life trying to stay away from people rather than being the opposite of trying to draw people to me. I do vlogs. I started to do them for my own sake, for my journey, because I was on a journey from leaving what you'd call a normal life in England to go and live a dream life in Scotland. And I did it on my own with 2 doggies, and I've got to where I am now, and it's 8 years down the line. And it's so funny because I thought by leaving everything behind, I would set a light and a pathway for other people like me. And I think what I've done inadvertently is shown people what not to do, which is quite funny because a lot of people who go and say I'm going to light the way for a new life for other people to follow me usually only show the good on things like YouTube. Like, look at me now, I'm such a successful person, I've got all this going for me, and I used to be just a normal ordinary person with nothing much to offer, and now look at me. And I'm laughing to myself thinking, in 8 years, almost all the feedback I've had from people I know is, you're cracked. You think you can just walk away from modern society and go and live the life of your dreams? And it's actually quite funny because I am living the life of my dreams as much as I can within what I have, you know. If I had more money and a different kind of job, like a career that was progressive and I earned a lot of money, I wouldn't be living on this park. I'd be living on my own land, or I'd be, you know, somewhere else. But you've got to look at what you actually have and then work within that. But this is still, to me, a massive step up from where I came from, because I live here pretty much for free, well, or nearly free, and I live in a prime location, which most people could only dream of. And I don't get harassed or anything, I just get left alone, so I can have that quiet life. But that's not going to be an influencer, is it? Because if you've watched all my old videos, you'll see that to get this 8 years down the line of living a life that's more comfortable and freeing, I had to go through a hell of a lot of rubbish to get there. And what I hoped I could do is show people there is a way to break free. And I have, but it's took me years to do it. It wasn't I walk out of the door, I go and do this and live happily ever after, so now you come and follow me. To get to where you want to be, to that place where you feel the most comfortable that you've ever felt and the happiest you've ever felt in your own self, it takes a long time to get there. You know, it's a journey. When you've never been shown anything and you don't know there's another way, the world that you live in is all there is. And I remember living on the council estate, and I had no concept of the world outside of it because I lived and worked there. My family all lived there. All the schools were there, everything else. So I didn't have to go anywhere else in my mind. And I thought that this is the world. The people here that I live around represent the rest of the world's population. But it's not true. I come from a place that is really oppressive. And it's got good points as well. It can be great fun and stuff because you know all the same people because you grow up together. Your children are all the same ages and everything else. But I don't know anybody apart from one member of my family and my next door neighbour's daughter who's ever been to university. I don't know anybody personally who's ever had a career like a doctor or some other professional. Everybody I know in my old life has been minimum wage, manual worker or unemployed or disabled. And so not knowing anybody who had money or wealth or good health even, because a lot of people I know are sick either mentally or physically, and it's a result of the upbringing, the community, if you're not living your personal dream, then you suffer for it somewhere down the line. I was a conformist for so many years. I tried to please people, got nowhere, and I got to a point where I just had enough. I couldn't. It just suffocated me, and I felt like I was being drained all the time. Even when somebody knocked on my door, I felt drained because I knew it was going to be a few hours of the same old regurgitated conversations, and I couldn't stand it anymore. So it's took me 8 years to get to here, where I am now, where I feel like I have more control of my life and my time. And who wants to do an 8-year journey to get to live where I am now and live like me? Most people would see me and say you're not inspiring at all because you live in a caravan. But it's quite funny because what one person's idea of heaven is can be another person's idea of hell. I know people who would love to live in a big city, in a nice apartment, in a high-rise tower. I know people like that, and they'd love it, and they'd love the fact that they're surrounded by restaurants and entertainment and people. That'd be their dream, but that's my hell. If you put me there into somebody else's dream, I would be depressed. And likewise, if you took somebody out of there who wanted to be there and put them in the middle of nowhere in a field, in a caravan, with no friends around and no support network and no entertainment, they would crack up. So we're all different. We've all got our own different needs and desires and everything. So it's about living your own and not trying to fit in to somebody else's mould and be like them. I just think it's funny when I look at. I was watching some of the videos about these influencers, and most of them are quite young, and a lot of them like well, for example, the beauty ones, usually younger girls and stuff, showing makeup techniques and stuff, and they look great. But when you get to my age and stuff, well, even when I was younger, I couldn't be bothered with that. Anything that means an effort to look like somebody else or to not even look like myself is just not for me. Although I'm getting into steampunk, and I want to dress Steve up and me up and go to a steampunk party. I'm waffling, aren't I keep saying to myself, right, find a subject, stick to it, and don't talk about anything else. So I'm going to, this is my practice, right? So go back to that. Could I be an influencer? The answer is no. That's pretty much it. So I can show you what not to do, and I can show you that if you go and do something that you really want to do and you look like you're failing and you feel like you're failing, just go watch my old videos, right? Because even when I gave up and went home, I still came back. Every time I fell down, I stood up. And every time I thought I can't do this anymore, I ended up carrying on. So I did what I had to do. I'm going to go now. I'm going to try and stick to the topic because I waffle too much. This is something I need to learn. But I'll go for now.